break them down into pressure points. You understand your opponents from the drafting wise, understand their behaviors, understand their macro or micro mistakes, and then you pressure them from those angles. Yeah, but their opponents are Nova Esports, one of the top achievers in 2025. To prove that Blacklist International is a world-class team, this is their first, and dare I say, one of the largest obstacles here to start off 2026.
If they want to break this code is gonna be a tough one. It does not get more complicated than Nova Esports. Blacklist International is going to be on the blue side. Nova Esports is going to be on the red. Let's jump into the BP. Blacklist International first ban is going to be the Dharma, respect towards strength. And on the other side, Nova Esports is going to answer with a Chicha.
I think Chicha has definitely increased in popularity ever since the release, I think last year. Definitely one of the heroes that could be flexed in all three lanes, Clash lane, jungle, and farm lane. She's not a marksman, don't be fooled. She's actually a fighter in disguise. So batting out that and getting it off the window already in the first place is a smart choice coming in from Nova Esports. This does open assassins like the Luna, the Pei, that Just G really enjoys. What does Nova remove in this phase?
Let's see. They're going to just keep going with that. They won't allow Joshi to take on that Pei. They do not want to allow them the early tempo of the game, the early dominance. And over that, the Blacklist is going to decide, you know what? Let's just start with a solid first pick. Let's start with the Parasola. Let's go with Arlie.
For me, in 2025, Arlie was a prime pick in the pro scene. But after the nerfs, something just feels doesn't right. Like, there's so much assassins in the meta, there's so much farm lane counters, the Chano, the Flowborn Marksman, the Direnjie. Arlie's placing for me right now seems to have faltered compared to before.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that. I love that you can spot that in there. I would actually dare to say that it's not that the Arlie has dropped, but the Arlie is just very dependent of the other picks that you can actually get it with. So right now, the Arlie depends a lot on what kind of pairing you can get. For example, can you get the Diadea over there with the Arlie? It's been one of those compositions that we have seen a lot. With the Diadea, with the extra stun and the initiation in there, the Arlie is a lot more free. But yeah, you're totally right. After this round of nerfs, Arlie stopping to be that gigantic hero that we were used to have, and right now has become a little bit more human, a little bit more normal.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So it will definitely be a pressure on the shoulders of Golden Kite to perform towards that level, because this specific matchup for the Arlie into the Breezeheart and pack leader, not easy. It's a ticking time bomb. One mistake from the Parasola herself will lead to a spiraling despair. Because why? The moment that Arlie falls behind against these heroes, it's not easy. Laning phase is hard, team fight is hard, late game pressure is imminent for the Nova Esports draft for Arlie. But good news for Blacklist International, Chaz is one of the world's best multi-peacekeeper players, and Dragon has his hands on the Evernight Aspiration Kaya to play more aggressive in that early game to stop that snowball from Nova Esports.
That is a lovely pair of picks, right? Like those two, the synergy in between the two of them is going to be on point. How can they actually work on the rotations and just moving around, being able just to create that advantages, how they can actually open the map. We can see the second round of bans already happening. Nova Esports will not allow the Monkey or the Aguto, putting a lot of pressure on what their choice for Joshi is going to be. No Jing, no Musashi, no Pei, no Aguto, no Monkey. What is up? What is out there?
Oh, there's still the likes of the... Let me put my mind on towards it. Oh, there you go. The answer you immediately with the Featherfoot and Dominant Ruler composition here. Fate utilizing the ultimate of the Liu Bang, the delivery system that we saw in Game 4 of Kagindrup's Dominator. Just in a different view, this time with the Fate. But this is the problem. We're looking at losing lanes for the side of Blacklist International, especially the Arlie lane. So the mid lane priority on the first two waves is exceptionally important. Whoever controls it will be able to, one, Blacklist is able to defend the buffs against a strong Ogren in the early game. Or 2, Nova Esports, if they get the mid lane or side lane priority, Kongling is gonna march into Justy's jungle and bully him.
You just made a very important point in there, right? It's just gonna come down to just those little details. The first 2-3 waves, whatever that they can do, whatever the dragon can do on that Heya right over there, it's gonna allow them to slow down what they already know due to their composition. It's gonna be tough times for the laning stages on both ends of the map. That is going to be very difficult for them. On the other side, for Nova Esports, I'm loving the combination of just having that Diadea with the Ogre and that Diadea with the channel. Over there, everything's looking really nice. The Xiao Xiao is a very direct pick against the early. So in terms of composition, the Nova Esports comp for me has a little bit of an advantage comparison to Blacklist.
Fully agree here, Isaac. I do think that in terms of the overall well-roundedness, it does give over to Nova Esports. But if we talk about surprise team fights, big initiations, pickoffs, I want to give it over to BLACKLIST International if the fate on the hands of Justy gets to scale in towards the mid to late stages of the game. That is going to be a very scary hero for the backline of Nova Esports that has no mobility. The channel doesn't have mobility.
Yes, of course.
Xiao Qiao doesn't have mobility. So those are potential targets for Justy to lock on towards to.
What can Justy do right over there? There's so many things that Justy needs to do, right? Because we know that Justy on that fate, he's going to have to be in charge of his jungle, trying to invade, trying to control the objectives. At the same time that he needs to put pressure on the back lane. He's gonna be a busy man. Very, very, very busy times coming in for Justy.
That's why jungle is not an easy role. I don't play jungle. You don't play jungle. We leave the jungle experts here. Justy from BLACKLIST International takes on Kongling, the newcomer in towards the Nova's roster here. This is game 1 of match 2. BLACKLIST International on towards the blue side versus Nova Esports from the MKL on towards the red side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, assemble. And that's what the players are doing in the mid lane. Directly a 3 against 2 over there for Nova.
Justy here picking up
gonna
a
get it just for free?
steal. I mean, he's playing with vision here, and he got the steal against Kongling here. What could have been a successful early game rotation coming in from Nova has been played really well by Justy to steal away that camp here. So that early game invade coming in from the Ogren mitigated by BLACKLIST International.
Talking about how Justy was going to be busy just trying to protect his own stuff, like he's busy as well just trying to steal things from others. Justy, great start. Beautiful first 1 minute. Now, what can BLACKLIST do with this, right? Because for the Ogren, it's going to be very difficult. Losing that first buff is going to put him on his back foot, slow down his gold. Some other people.
Let's head back into the showdown between these two teams coming in from PKL and also MKL.
Let's see. 2 minutes of the game right now. After we have that early steal, let's see what can Kongling do, right? Kongling, I'm telling you, we were talking a lot about the pressure that Kongling was going to have, forcing Dragon just to flash away in there. He needs to do something, and that is to calm himself. He cannot just start just rushing in.
Yeah, we'll move on towards the top side here. Shen putting a bit of pressure on towards Chami 1. Those flash gradations are hurting a lot on towards that Liu Bang here. So the mid lane, Dragon wanted to pull Waypit in towards that ultimate, but Waypit immediately flashes away. So Dragon had to counteract with a flash as Wendy caught him with that spell to Honey Sweet Breeze. And that's the Fate ultimate here. That little ultimate securing, jading the minion camp doesn't allow the enemy to steal it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our city keys are right out there. Firestorm is going to be our first city key. We're going to fire with a 1 instead of an I. And our second city key is going to be Wildfire. That first I on Wild is still a number 1. So please log into the game, go online, and as always, because we like free stuff, go and get some.
Yeah, go and get some, hit that CD key, click bottom left, click community key. And then you can get the CD key here, but you know who's getting some? Chammy1 gets some gangs coming in from Nova Esports, gets taken down by a beautiful Honey Sweet Breeze landed by Wendy here. On towards your bottom left corner of the screen, we see an ultimate being committed by Dragon here, pulling in that 1v1. But the players are marching through. Stren gets a kill on towards the Haya coming in. And yes, gets jaded by Just G here. But Kongling is a raid boss. Takes down Chaz, making a third kill for Nova Esports.
A 3-1 trade in favor of Nova. They come in. They were able to start the fight early. I know that they eat that Dragon's ulti, but as they come out, they're still being able to win. Heya, that hero, if the ult is from extremely early, you have to be completely fatal. The damage needs to be lethal, or else you're gonna come out to a 1v4, 1v5 hit.
And that was a very proactive play coming in from the side of Nova Esports, capitalizing Chammy1's position. Diadia binds in with the spell 2, and then Wendy catches him with a Honey Sweet Breeze, and Kongling drops the execute on towards him. So that was a series of CC chain that allowed Chammy1 almost zero time to get that flash, to get that dash away towards safety. So beautifully played by Nova Esports.
Let's wait and see what Chaz can do right now, because he's going to be the person in charge of getting us the vision. The problem in here for Blacklist is going to be that they do not have vision priority anywhere, and the only option that they have is just for Chaz to try to use his Cannon Blast in order just to provide them a little bit more information.
So much pressure though being generated by Kongling here on this Augur here. You can see a lot of the focus coming in from Nova Esports is to trade sides against Golden Kite. Make sure that Muchi doesn't falter in that side lane. Muchi needs to farm. Muchi needs gold on this channel to try to out farm the enemy Golden Kite here, but look at that combination coming in from both Just G and Chammy1. Jading Wave Pit and sending him towards the grave. Kongling finding Just G. They're looking for a pincer here. Chammy1 flash engage on towards Wendy. Wendy has to pop the flat and has to drop the Sprite Link to escape towards safety here. So far in this exchange, beautiful stuff coming in from BLACKLIST International, closing out that goal gap.
Has destroyed a tower.
Very dominant team here. Very direct performance from Blacklist. Joshi makes the call for Chammy1 just to TP himself over there. They take the kill onto Waypit, and then after that, the rotation puts Wendy on his back foot.
Yeah, and so far in this early game, it's very different from what we saw in the Dominator and Kagindra series. It's really one-sided in some sort of way. This one in the series itself between BLACKLIST and Nova is back and forth. People are fighting aggressively for control. You give 1 inch, they will take a mile from you.
Very well answered here from Blacklist after just losing that big fight over there on the Clash lane. Right now, they need to try to control everything that they can. We make it to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. The Overlord is there up for grabs, but no one is actually just thinking about just going and initiate on that.
Yeah, not a fan of Overlord actually. I feel like Tyrant has much more power in the early game, gives you so much more damage and also wave clear to rotate faster here. So Overlord is more of like a freebie. It's like, hey, no camps, no minion waves, let's get that Overlord in towards our pockets here. And back to the bottom side, both Clash laners just chunking out each other, trying to get control here. So Chammy1 taking a lot of damage, has to pop the ultimate to escape from the Charlotte.
It has become like that. The Overlord has evolved into something that in the late game, it is one of the key ways to finish the game, but in the early games, it's just a very big liability. It's not something that you actually want to force a fight in order to grab. So if it is just on your way, grab it. If it is not, then do not. Fade, you can see Joshi right now just clearing the wave, trying to get control of the minion waves, trying to force a fight over there in the mid lane.
And you can see the gold here coming in for South BLACKLIST International. A lot of it is invested towards 2 members, Golden Kite and also Just G. And Just G being the prime member to receive all the beneficial in this case. 6,000, higher than anyone on towards the board and all the other 9 players.
Great timing in here over there from Josh. He just collecting the 2 kills that BLACKLIST or International has already right now. Both of them have been going into his bag. Nova Esports on the other side already just trying to help Mutsu to farm as fast as possible. They know that they need that channel of damage to be online quickly.
Just G here trying to put a bit of poke on towards Kong Lane here. Those Azir Golems and old Crimson Golems putting a lot of work for the BLACKLIST jungle. Tyrant does go over to the side of Nova Esports here. Chaz flashes in on towards Muji. Trades hits live, makes it a 1v1. But where does Just G go? Just G is completely out of position, gets punished, and that's a 1-4-2 exchange in favor of Nova Esports on towards the cross-map side. We see Dragon capturing for a 1v1, but gets immediately punished the moment they come out. When he flashes forward, Chammy 1, there's nowhere you can go as you are under a 4v1 arrest. The police, Nova, captures 4 members for the side of BLACKLIST International.
I'm telling you, right over here, Joshi should not have jumped in there. We were just praising him on his decisions. Chaz is being taken out of the equation extremely quickly. Joshi should have just cut their losses and run away. He engages, and right now that is music for Nova's ears, because look at that. They take the tier 3 turret in the mid lane, and that is going to be bad news for them. The tier 1 turret in the mid lane is going to fall.
Yeah, the tier 1 falls into towards the mid lane, the most important one in the game, denying the Crimson Golem away from the hands of the Arlie. Also another big marker. And right now, we are closing in on the 10th minute mark, and item-wise, is looking really good for Shren. He's 4-3, 7.1k, a absolute side lane demon here. BLACKLIST International starting off the Shadow Overlord, but the Radiance coming in from Wave Pit immediately forces them to back off. They don't want to give them an option to even trade for those objectives.
You already mentioned how Xuan right now with the itemization, it's working completely on his way. Look at that channel, it's extremely far away. He will not be part of this. I don't think that they want to challenge this one. I do believe that they need to just split and trade for Tyrant, and also if it is going to be through the KML, 2026 is going to bring us a lot of opportunities. Well, Sagi, we're back to the game. Look at that.
Now, Justy going for a hot and J Seal here, secures the Overlord for his team. Shred immediately goes in for the splash, Radiation Flash, catches on to Justy, gets caught by the Honey Sweet Breeze on towards the backline here. Dragon goes in for a 1v1 against Conflict, but loses in the Moonscape Mirage. This is the worst outcome. Although they secure the Overlord, but with 3 members only alive from the side of BLACKLIST International, they have a heck of a lot of defense that they need to do coming in with that top lane minions.
It is gonna be trouble. Only Chammy 1 Golden Titan Chaz gonna try to defend that high ground. They have the minions, they can come in, take the high ground. They will not try to make the final push. It is not necessary at the moment, but super minions available in the Clash lane. This is bad news for BLACKLIST. They did take the Overlord, but to what cost?
At what cost? Right now, it pulled the game wide open to a 6,000 almost goal lead for the side of Nova Esports here. They just need to rinse and repeat, build up those minion waves, and force one final fight in the high ground of BLACKLIST International. Shren was such a key playmaker in this instant replay. Drop us down and run us through this instant replay.
Look at the replay right over there. They take the Shadow Overlord, and then as they are trying to rush away back, hitting the wall in there does not allow him to run. Joshi, sadly for him, the movement in there, he takes the objective, but at the end of the day, pays with his life, and the pressure that is going to be coming from the Clash lane might be a factor that Nova could take in their advantage.
And look at the top side right now. We see a 1v1 between Chammy 1 and also Shren. Has to pop the ultimate to escape towards safety here. So right now, in terms of the map, in terms of the 1v1, I don't think anyone can stop Shren on this Rose Spencer Charlotte. He's looking pretty indestructible right now. Just G meeting against Shren here. We see members of the side of BLACKLIST International. Nova just coming in for his fate. He's running out of stealthy tech right now. He's really just kiting through the map, and Nova's like, that's too much. We'll pass on that. We'll pass on that. Yeah, just you get to live another day.
I love it. I love it, man. That's why Fate is one of my heroes that I love watching hate playing against him, but love watching him in professional game. It's just so mobile. It can just really. Did you see that? He came from a 1v5 and they just walked through the walls and they just got out of there. Isn't that entertaining to see?
It was just flipping over walls, like he's flipping patties, just like jumping around the Hero's Gorge, and he stalled enough time for his members to come in towards his cavalry here. So the more time that BLACKLIST International actually stalls, I wouldn't say that their late game is as good compared to Nova Esports, but hey, as long as you're in the game and your turrets are not down, there is still a sign of hope. Who knows if Just G and Champion can find the miracle engage on towards Nova.
Let's wait and see. The only time will tell. 20 more seconds until we're going to have the main objectives back online. That's going to be another of the cues for Nova just to bring up a fight. BLACKLIST International cannot let those go uncontested, and they need to start cleaning up the wave so they can have priority over at least one of the two objectives.
Look at top side here. Shen goes for the 1v1 here. Golden Kai is here to aid his Clash lane here, but gets figured out. So this position looks like a free Tyrant going into the hands of Nova, and there will not be an answer on that Shadow Overlord trade coming in from BLACKLIST International.
Uncontested is going to go for Nova Esports. Right now, they're going to have 75 more seconds of this buff. They will be able to take on fights. The only thing that they need to do is just to initiate in the right way. Shen over here taking a 1v2.
Shen flashes in with the splash grenade here. Finds the 1v2. Gets the assassination on towards Golden Kai in a 1v2 situation. On towards the backside here. Mushi flashes away from Just G. And Kongling in towards the front line, stalling 3 members here. That's a soul. Just G in towards the back line here. Steals away the Crimson Golem here, but where can he escape to? As long as Shen makes sure that he doesn't get back to base, the base will be in shambles coming in for the side of BLACKLIST International here.
Joshi over there, Shen just on the 1v1 mark. The minions are gonna come in, turret is going to fall, and right now the high ground is gonna be the next target.
The higher pulling in Kongling for that 1v1, but that's a tanky boy that you have captured in that RuneScape Mirage. Muchi doing light work off that Crystal right now. Big going in for that assassination, but where is the follow-up coming in from BLACKLIST International? There is no one coming in towards their aid as the Crystal will fall alongside with the members of BLACKLIST International. Just a few hits away, and this is game 1 in the pockets of Nova Esports.
Congratulations to Nova Esports taking the first victory of this matchup. 1-0 advantage to them in what these last 5 minutes was a very, very dominant performance from them.
If there is a single player that we need to highlight in that game 1, my goodness, Shen is an absolute monster on that Charlotte Rose.
You called it. Yes, you called it at the beginning of the game, right? Like, you mentioned that Shen was going to be a very important player in this matchup, and then he came in and then he just started building the items and building the goal difference very early in the game.
Very well played, I would say, and executed coming in from Nova Esports. Despite the fact that BLACKLIST International, they found a way to mitigate that early game plan coming in from the side of Nova. You can see in the mid game, especially that bottom lane fight, where the first victim was Muchi on that channel being counter-engaged by Chaz and the Liu Bang ultimate, and then Just G jumped in. He cannot reload on towards the wall immediately after coming in towards the ground. He gets absolutely demolished the moment he lands on surface. And then, without Just G, Golden Kai cannot really do DPS well when there's a active Xiao Xiao Breeze Heart in those fights. So it led to a very uncomfortable situation for BLACKLIST International.
It was one of those games in which BLACKLIST just had a very good opportunity at the beginning. They had a very good start of the game. They were really dominant at the beginning. They had the upper hand. But then after that, Nova just used their vast experience just to come and turn things around. It would not have been the first time that Nova has been put in a difficult position. So they have seen these situations. They know what to do, and they know how exactly just to turn around and be able to turn the game in their favor.
I think this also adds on to the topic that we talk about on Parasola, the early first pick in this current patch and meta. Previously in the 2025 season, Arlie was really high up there even when there's a channel because of how you can play tempo, how you can play side lane. But due to the recent nerfs on towards Arlie, it has lost its position. You need to play it flawlessly, and you will still find yourself in moments where the hero just starts falling off against strong late games, like the Xiao Xiao counter, like the channel counter. So for me, Arlie seems to be a pocket pick for some farm laners in game 3 or game 4 when there's lesser counters.
Let's put the attention to the Heya. Let's just turn our views and turn our eyes into the Heya. Have we seen today, in these last hours, a very good, strong Heya performance?
Sadly, to that question, Isaac, is a hard, cold no. I would like to say that Heya is one of those high-tier mid-lane mages that has a lot of proactiveness, but maybe it's a player thing, maybe it's a team decision thing. We haven't been seeing a lot of early game strong Moonscape Mirage ultimates coming in from the higher users.
And we have seen a lot of people that they prioritize the pick, but up until right now, I have not seen one of them that can make me feel like there is a very clear plan and understanding of what wants to be achieved through that pick. Up until right now, after seeing it in multiple games, my feeling comes down to we are picking it just because it's available.
Maybe it's like they fall into the bait where this is strong in the eyes of like super good teams or teams that have already mastered this Heya. Because if I'm not mistaken, Heya has only been released for about like what, 2 weeks at max. So the games that some of these teams have on Heya is not enough to really master it to a full level.
Look at Kongling's digits right over here. Even though in terms of neutral objectives and GPM and invasion rate, Joshi was a lot better. But in terms of vision and damage for Kongling, he was more. He was more of a tank that allowed the whole team just to jump in. So I would say from Kongling that we were talking about, it's going to be a difficult day for him because he needs to really get on those expectations. This first performance in this first game, actually I would give him a pass.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with Kongling's performance, especially in this game 1. He always had a gray area where he likes to play over aggressive in certain times, but this game 1, he's shown signs of improvement. His early days with O2 with other teams, it was, I would say, passable, but this is definitely a bigger step up coming in from the new jungler of Nova.
A great way to start the 2026 for him. Very well done. Well, Blacklist International did not give me a bad taste. I actually liked the way that they played, but in the other side, like they were playing against a Nova Esports that are very strong. Nova Esports came in here, a lot of people were questioning how they would perform, and actually they had a very good show against Blacklist International this first time. Well, for this game, the MVP is gonna go to Xuan on that Charlotte the Rose Fencer.
Absolutely masterful performance coming in from one of the anchors coming in of Nova Esports lineup. We were talking about the Xuan versus Chami 1 head-to-head matchup during the pre-game show, and you can see when Xuan gets the team rolling, they really get themselves in towards the minds of Blacklist International.
Look at this, like the way that they play right over here. Like he comes in straight under the turret, knowing that he's gonna be taking in all that damage, and he's still very aggressive. He knows that his teammates are right over there to finish the deal.
This was the key fight that really turned the game for both teams here. Chaz found a beautiful re-engage on towards Muji here, but this time, Just G landing himself into 4 key members, which allowed Nova to just dice down 4 additional members, making it a 1 Tor 4 exchange and coming into the Shadow Overlord fight. 4v5 in the front seat. Oh my goodness, that ultimate flash coming in from the Rose Spencer. Charlotte coming in from Xuan just captures the players, Dragon, Just G from the side of BLACKLIST International.
That was the moment that just defined the game. That Drag over there, just that Overlord fight, and then the fact that they lose to members for BLACKLIST. That was the moment where everything just turned black for them. Nova Esports comes in and they take their first victory of 2026. Let's wait and see if they can make 2 more so they can actually take the victory in this best of 5.
Well, let's not count BLACKLIST International out.